and the risk assessment is the one by the far right.
To drive home its message, NiMet has brought stakeholders together for an important education on the importance of early warnings in driving early action. The Director General and CEO of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency is quick to say that weather prediction is not just knowing when to have your umbrellas up to protect you from the rains.
For ordinary citizens, it means what you just said. But to economists, to the national economy, all right, climate change is a major source of inflation today. So when it rains and we experience flash flood, you begin to think, what happens to the supply chain? Okay, you begin to see increase in fuel price, in food production, access to the market for farmers, storage problem, and many economic parameters are affected. So it's important that we begin to recognize the impact of climate change and also the role that NiMet plays. So it's really, really important to collaborate with NiMet, okay? Because the work we do is I mean, we serve the entire sectors of the economy. You can imagine over 200 million Nigerians cut across over 945,000 square kilometers. We have our weather stations all over Nigeria. So you can imagine the task of trying to disseminate weather and climate information. So we need partnership.
Enabling adaptation to climate change will obviously require more than simply improving weather forecasting. One obvious reason why these improvements alone will be insufficient is that they do not address the problem of getting information into the hands of those who need it most.
To meet these demands, the capacity development through research and training has become imperative.
Rallying professionals from the private and public sectors, security, academia, oil and gas, health, aviation, agriculture, and the marine sector, the agency revealed the growing challenges it faces in ensuring its forecasts and climate information reach the wider public in a way that is easily understood and applied.
In collaboration with the Ministry of Health, we are doing malaria vigilance. And what does that entail? The Ministry of Health has told us the climatic condition that favors the multiplication of mosquito that causes the malaria, that causes the malaria parasite. And of course, if there is multiplication of the mosquito that causes malaria, there is likely to be outbreak or increased infestation of people by malaria. So what we do for the health sector is we monitor the environment and tell them when those climatic conditions they gave us that are favorable for reproduction of mosquito that causes malaria, we tell them in this month, so and so state, so and so area, these conditions will be available and favorable, like you said. And so take precaution, be vigilant. It's not a model that simulates where malaria is likely to happen.
The National Meteorological and Hydrological Services play a significant role in advancing the collection and analysis of hydrological and meteorological observations, the modeling of hydrological and meteorological phenomena, the dissemination of forecasts, warnings, and as an authoritative advice about extreme events, and in improving institutional capabilities to make the best use of this science and technology. Collectively, these are referred to as the hydrometeorological enterprise. NiMet showcased the scenarios where the data collection are useful.
Towards ending of May, there is heavy rainfall at Mokwa that caused a serious flooding in Mokwa, of which it cleared a community. So what it means is that that particular community was built along the water channel, but not knowing that it's along the water channel until when this heavy rainfall. That's why we're saying that you need this information for you to know. Also in NiMet also, we have a product that we call PMP, probable maximum precipitation, that will tell you how many numbers of high rainfall you are going to get during the rainy month. Like for example, during the June, how many numbers of high rain amount you are going to get, how many numbers. By the time you know all those things, you use it to plan. Because what happened in Mokwa, if you look at the picture here, this is after the flood, look at it. It just clear one community away. So it means that they have settled on top of and also the road safety also. If you know the kind of institutional rainfall that can happen in a location, you can use it to advise the motorists that if you are using this particular road, that they're very okay. During this period, this thing can happen. Anytime you see the rainfall, please either you park or you reduce your speed. You can use this particular product for them also. Now, their particular product, during the starting of a mainland bridge in 1977, they got the information, the contractor there, the company, they got the information from NiMet before they start the project. And the project take a long time. In 1987, also after 10 years, they come for the update of that IDF Ashona. This is the bridge that happened in Maiduguri. This is the bridge that cracked in Maiduguri too. If you look at it, water just come and push one of the, what do you call it, side of the bridge away.
It has been said that one of the most important assets there are to mitigate the impact of weather and climate extremes in current and future climates is information. It is said that the earlier a drought or a flood can be predicted, the more prepared communities can be, helping them reduce some of their economic and material losses. But most importantly, these communities need to be able to understand the information.
We are showing here that all we need is synergistic leadership, collaboration, and partnership. That's it, to get it to the bottom line. The last mile, the farmers, the ordinary Nigerians, those communities in our villages, we have the products. It's just to collaborate, to get it down to them, so that they can respond adequately to. Yes, mostly, because we do provide seasonal climate prediction early on in the year. I'm sure you've heard of them talking about seasonal climate prediction that gives an outlook of rainfall, temperature, and also the implication to national economy. That is out in the public domain. That information is out in public domain. But when you are asking for specific data spanning across a long timeline and parameters, then we have to discuss with you to design that product and services for you.
The World Bank estimates that highly weather-sensitive sectors such as agriculture, energy, transport and construction, and disaster risk management can benefit by over $160 billion per year from potential improvement in weather forecasting capabilities that will be within reach given the current state of scientific knowledge and technology.
The West African region in particular has been amongst the first to voice out the heavy climate burden. You might recall the creation of the Permanent Interstate Committee for the Control of Drought in the Sahel. That was created in 1974 because of the drought conditions in the Sahelian countries, of which, of course, Nigeria, the north of Nigeria, has experienced those episodes of drought. And since then, this burden is still with us, and of late, we are seeing the increase in what we call fast onset events, that is flooding. In addition to drought, we now have flooding and the increase in windstorms, the strength of windstorms. So in my view, the climate burden has increased on West Africa, Central Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. And that is why there is need for those that provide early warning services to engage more with those who use the services. And I feel that this event is very timely, in fact a bit late, because we should have had more interaction with those who use our products and services. And of course, the user community also should come and look for these products.
The World Meteorological Organization says the ability to predict and prepare for changes in weather and climate allows societies to improve resilience and economic prosperity. From the issuing of early warnings of extreme events to day-to-day forecasts, National Meteorological and Hydrological Services, as providers of weather, climate, and water information and services, can save lives and reduce economic loss and damage in vulnerable sectors.
I guess it can happen if we interact more. Okay, what is needed is greater interaction between all of these communities. Knowing that the climate is sometimes what you had before doesn't mean that that's the high or the most intense event you have. It can go beyond that. Okay, that is why we talk about return events or return period rather. But again, whatever the case is, if the provider community, that is NiMet, is able to locate the extreme event, identify its intensity, and communicate that to the media, and the media gets that to those who are the stakeholders in that area, then there can be some communication to really reduce the risk of misunderstanding. Okay, because for instance, remember we have moved from the population of this country, and in fact the globe in particular, is increasing. What used to be forested area is now inhabited area. When an area is inhabited, when water comes, it doesn't stay on the ground. It moves out into the street. Okay, everybody has tried to pave, so when water comes, it just goes to the drains or to the road. Okay, and that is why we need to collaborate more so that to understand our environment and know that this is about to happen. What do we do to cope with this? Okay, it needs continuous engagement, interaction.
Many governments underestimate the socio-economic benefits that improved weather, climate, and water services can bring to their societies, which can result in insufficient investment and budget allocations.
For us to see what it takes to generate a forecast, it is not cheap. You can see stations on the ground. Then you have wind profilers, radio sondes, stations at sea, drifting buoys, monitor observing ships, aircrafts, satellites. So this is not cheap. Those who use our products need to know that we want to serve them better, but then it comes at a cost. And this cost we can discuss with you and share them with you so that we serve you better. And of course, as one of the goodwill messages from the aviation sector indicated, when the aircraft enters a turbulent zone, we all resort to prayer. But I can assure you that if you had invested more, then the aircraft could have avoided that zone, because they would have known that this zone, the wind is unsteady, so you have to divert. But because we are not making the necessary investment, we go through those, and everybody's, feels that today might be their last day.
It is well known that climate change will increase the frequency and intensity of damaging weather events. Whether these are acute storms like cyclones or blizzards, or more diffuse weather events like heat waves or heavy precipitation events, it is said that climate change will make them more frequent in much of the world, including places that may not have historically experienced them and often more severe. There is now a deep literature in economics that shows the negative consequences of these extreme weather events for a variety of economic outcomes.
Early warning systems are not merely technical tools, they are life-saving mechanisms. I know this personally because I have opportunities to go into the communities right there at the very bottom. And they are always asking, when will the rain cease? For how long will it cease? Can we go in and plant now? What do we do? These are questions they ask, and these are answers that NiMet gives us. Early warning systems are not merely technical tools, they are life-saving mechanisms. However, for early warnings to lead to early action, the messages must be accessible, understandable, and usable by decision makers at all levels. So let us use this platform to strengthen our collaboration, build capacity, and align efforts towards reducing vulnerabilities. By integrating NiMet's products and services into our sectoral plans, we not only enhance preparedness, but also support sustainable development.
There is growing evidence that investing in improvements in weather forecasting is a highly cost-effective means of reducing damages from extreme weather. It is said that the tight relationship between climate change and extreme weather implies that these investments are so far also likely to be an important form of climate adaptation.